What are you watching this week? Hello and welcome back. I'm Dr. B with Ready, Set, Grow, and on this channel, my goal is to share tips to help you on your financial and trading journey. If you're new here, like and subscribe. Be sure to check the description for some valuable resources. I ran my scan that looks for tickers that are in at least a 5-dot squeeze. I sometimes look for 3-dot squeezes, but I also use 5-dot squeezes. And one ticker that caught my interest is MDT. As you can see, it's in a 10-dot squeeze on the weekly. Also squeezing on the daily, fired short on the 2-hour, so the likelihood of it firing short on another time frame is relatively high. Looking at the histograms, most of them are bearish. The 1-hour isn't bearish yet, but I will wait and see what happens once the market opens. And all the EMAs are stacked negative. I actually alerted this ticker once it fired short on the daily time frame for the regular squeeze, and we actually took this ticker short and made some really nice gains on it. So I am optimistic that it can fire short on the weekly time frame. Here was the alert I put out from the daily time frame. As soon as it fired on the daily time frame, I checked to see if everything was aligned, and I put out an alert in my server. And here are some of the gains that members made on that MDT alert. So if it fires short on the weekly time frame, then I am going to probably enter it again, so long as everything else aligns. Here's the weekly chart. You can see that the momentum is shifting from bullish to bearish as it went from cyan to dark blue and now to red. The TTM wave is pointing downward. You can even use the MACD and see that the MACD lines are crossing bearish. If it fires short on the weekly time frame, the EMAs are stacked negative on all the time frames that I trade. The histograms are all bearish across the time frames that I trade. And the TTM wave is pointed downward. I am likely to take a position in MDT. If it fires and I see that on some time frames things aren't really aligned, then I won't take a trade until they do align. Another ticker I'm going to be watching is MPC. MPC has a 5-dot squeeze on the daily. It's also squeezing on the 4-hour and already fired on the 2-hour. I like that the histograms are already aligned and the EMAs are stacked positive across multiple time frames. Looking at the daily chart, you can see that those EMAs are stacked. Price is right on the 8 EMA, so that is an ideal entry. Looking at the Squeeze Pro, it is in a black dot squeeze for 5 bars. The TTM wave is cyan and pointing upward. That's a bullish indication, and the MACD has crossed positive. I'm going to be looking to see if this will fire long sometime next week. This is the weekly time frame for MPC, and you can see that even the larger time frame supports a bullish move. We just don't know if it's going to fire or not this week, so I'll be keeping an eye on MPC. And again, just so I'm clear, even if it fires, it still has to meet all of the conditions that I'm looking for. So it still has to have stacked EMAs across the time frames. The histograms need to align. I need support of the larger time frame, so I need a TTM wave to align. So I'm still going to be looking that it has alignment across the time frames. Without the alignment, I'm not taking a trade on it. Lastly, I'm going to be keeping an eye on HES, H-E-S. It's in a 14-dot squeeze on the daily time frame and also in an 8-dot squeeze on the 4-hour. Histograms are all cyan and bullish. EMAs are all stacked positive for right now. Even as the market has been tanking, oil has been consistent and has held. Looking at the daily time frame for HES, you can see that it is in a multiple dot squeeze on the Squeeze Pro. It's already fired long on the regular squeeze, and this just tells me that there may be some more bullish momentum. The TTM wave is cyan and pointed upward. That's bullish, and the MACD already crossed positive. It is trading right above the 8 EMA, so ideally a nice pullback to the 8 will be great. And looking at the weekly time frame, you can see that the larger time frame supports the move. The EMAs are stacked positive. It's trading right at the 8 EMA on the weekly time frame. The histograms are bullish, so if this were to fire, it is likely to fire long, so I'm going to be looking to see if it does fire long this week. Okay, a quick recap. I'm going to keep an eye on MDT to see if it's going to fire short or not this week. I'm keeping an eye on MPC to see if it's going to fire long, and I'm keeping an eye on HES to see if it's going to fire long. Obviously, this information could change once the market opens on Tuesday. So as the market opens, I'll be looking to see if these 3 tickers hold their structure, and if they do, then I'm likely to go ahead and take a trade on it. So that's it for this week's watch list. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.